as always, I start off with prayer. So let us pray. Father, Mother God, Heavenly Creator, we ask for the connection to be made to the higher self. And as we connect, we ask for the wisdom, the guidance, and all that is needed for us today to flow through me in the purest form. I ask this in your Christ light, in Christ's name. Amen. Amen. So I'd like to talk today about relationships and as you ascend and how the dynamics of relationships change. We're all expanding. We have been plummeted with so much light and it is very, very intense. So know that everyone is growing at a different rate. We are all here as evolutionary beings of light to hold that light and to guide that light. I would like to recite. I decided not to bring that big thick book with me and just take a picture of it. So, so this is this is Plato. So the souls of people on their way to earth life pass through a room full of lights. Each one takes a taper, or often only a spark, to guide it in the dim country of this world. But some souls, by rare fortune, are detained longer, have time to grasp a handful of tapers, by in which they weave it into a torch. These are the torch bearers of humanity, its poets, its seers, its saints, who lead and lift the race out of darkness toward the light. They are the lawgivers and the saviors and the light bringers, way showers and truth tellers. And without them, humanity would lose its way in the dark. That is a very inspirational. I brought this to chapel before. I love that. So each one of you are the light bearers, the way showers, the truth tellers. And this is our complete purpose of why we are here at this time. We're ushering a new world. A humongous change is coming. And it's so exciting. I am just ecstatic of being here and feeling how blessed we are to be here. So we all are on many different levels in this evolutionary time here on this planet. Every one of you is a light bearer. And the light workers that have come in are all moving in different stages. Okay, so we have light workers that are way showers ahead of the others to guide the way. Some people will go ahead and forge the way ahead and continue to expand. Leaders to the light are called the way showers, is how I look at it. You can call them anything, but this is my interpretation. Your responsibility. So every one of us have a responsibility, and we have a responsibility is to hold your energetic field to the highest vibration. And you do that in many different ways. So you're going to do it with meditation. You're going to do it. And the best and easiest way to do that, holding that light, is to hold the positive frequency in your thoughts. All is mind and mind is all. That's number one universal laws. So when you are in that positive frequency, you're putting out light. And that one thing that can change your whole day is to feel gratitude, to go back to gratitude. That's opening your heart. So we have other layers of light workers that are going to be more like followers that hold that new expanded vibration that send light everywhere they go. So I call them light bearers. Here, some people are going to go through an ascension, ascend and expand with the masses to hold the light. So some people are leaders, some people are slightly followers, is what I would look at it as. I believe that as a consciousness starts to rise up more and more, we will need every one of those light bearers here, because it's going to help usher in this new consciousness. So their responsibility is doing their inner work of cleaning up their judging thoughts and moving toward empowerment. And that's quite a feat. So be brave. It's a lot of work. And as you go through this work, That doesn't mean the people before you they still have things to clear up and clean up. We're going to be giving lots of tests with this, okay? So the responsibility in doing your inner work and cleaning up your judging thoughts, I'm going to read that again, and moving toward empowerment. So now I made three layers because it accomplished, because everybody's going to be in a movement, and some people or the light bearers are going to move up to the leaders, and some people that are underneath are going to overcome and move toward becoming more of the leaders. So the third layer is how I look at it, is the light beings that are expanded and grow with the light and waking up to the value of being light. That is ascension. So I call them seekers. So this last and slower level will consist of some people that are going to follow behind, sort of like the cleanup crew, if you would. Their responsibility is to move into a place of holding more light and releasing the ego mind. The ego mind is the war between our ears. It has governed us, it has guided us, and it is slowly leaving. Okay, so we are moving into being more divine. So whatever level you think you are, you're doing exactly as your divine timing is in your DNA. You've chosen it. It's what you're guided here to do. You're on your path. No one is better or lesser. And it is your chosen path to orchestrated by you before arriving here on this planet. I think one of the biggest things is to know your energy, the energetics around you. Energy coming into the planet is off the charts. On this planet, it's now at we're being bombarded by it. Right around Christmas time, we got 100 times more energy, light coming in. And I call them neutrinos. I talk about this a lot. So the neutrinos are pulsating on this earth right now. And we did not go back down to the 10 times more light. We are escalating to 100 and more of like waves of light that are coming in. So the light is pulsating the earth so high that it will accent any darkness in the planet as well as on your person. So what we're moving into is to literally look at our own ego mind, our own qualities, the weaknesses, anything that keeps you from fulfilling your own inner light. So the more light we're holding now, if you had a little crumb of some darkness, it's going to accent it. If you have the judging thoughts, or, you realize that you're either repelling people or you're going to include it, you're going to bring them in as a unity. So things are ramping up very quickly, energetically, moving into a new time, a new age. And the plan is to restore this planet and every human to a higher consciousness. So in the very beginning, I said I was going to talk about relationships and the ascension process, didn't I? So let's get to it. So as you change and grow spiritually, it's going to change your perception, your perceptives too, and what you think, your values, and your operating system. Your friends and your family and all other relationships start to notice you are different. So you're more empowered, knowing that you are a creator of light with your wisdom and your knowledge. It's just flowing very easy. So how do you think the people are just getting ready to step into more consciousness is going to perceive you? What's going to create? It's going to create disagreements and different points of view. Actually, you may even feel abandoned, not understood, and separate from others. You may feel isolated, and you have nothing in common with your friends and your family. It happens. It is happening. And everyone in this room can actually understand it. So as light bearers, we're going to be challenged in all of our relationships. And the best thing that you can do is to stay in your power and to have compassion for others with love and light. And that's going to be a challenge, because if you stay in your power, they won't understand you. You're different. You've changed. So I'd like to share a personal story about that. When I walked, well, first and foremost, I found this chapel through some friends on a soccer team that my son was a part of. And that was Bob Gately and Pam, not Pam, Pat. Forgot Pat's last name, actually. So I found that I was novitiate, not a novitiate. I was part of the church, Presbyterian church at that time in Fox Hill, and I was part of on the board of ministerial, work there. And it was it was my family church. So what really started changing me was that I got Giardia. I don't know if anybody knows what Giardia is. It's a microorganism that comes usually from water. Well, they came and cleaned out the lines in the neighborhood, and the water showed up black in your faucets. So everybody in the neighborhood got sick, but somehow I continued to feel ill, and it changed. So I work on myself naturally in the healing. I don't run to the doctor by any means of imagination. So, it started in my gut, then it started in my sinuses and my chest, and then it changed into systemic. And I knew something wasn't right because I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs after that. Mm-hmm. I had lost tons and tons of weight. And I decided I think I might need to go see the doctor. So finally, all it took was 5 days of antabuse, actually. And that I didn't know that was a parasitic cleanse, kills the parasites. So anyways, I recovered from that. But when I was doing that, I went through a humongous change internally, because I had all these spiritual experiences. When I was ill, I slept all the time, but I had dreams like I was astral traveling and doing all sorts of really, at that point in time, I didn't know exactly what was going on, but there was transformative dreams and visions and lots of interchange. So then I decided to come here to this chapel. I walked in, and at that point in time, I was just a regular Presbyterian person. I read a lot, I learned a lot in books, but I didn't really have anybody to talk to about my metaphysics or my spiritual side. So as I found the chapel, I started to meditate. I went to the psychic fairs, and I think maybe there might be 2 people that know Kathy Menino. Long time ago, she did my first reading here at chapel. And I sat down, and Kathy says, I don't know why you're getting a reading. You could do those readings. And I'm going, nah, not me. I was a seeker at that time. So, and after all this, I started changing with the chapel, coming to the meditation classes on Friday, going through the different, no, those were on Wednesday. Friday was it was the psychic, it was a development class that you learned about different modalities and things. And that was when Bill was running it, so that was a long time ago. Let's say 28 years ago. So I started evolving and changing. And the change was pretty big. I left a marriage out of 17 years with 3 kids. I obtained a different job. I had a new home, co-custody of my children, and a new life. And chapel was my new family. I dearly, dearly needed it at that time, and I needed it at a time of growth. We all come together, don't we, to help each other. We don't even know it. This is going to be one of the things that I find that because I went through so much change, I am so appreciative of this place. 27 years, 28 years, I evolved into, who I am now, but without it, I don't know where I would have gone. And it was still interesting because I had so many spiritual experiences that was just ongoing in my whole life after having that NDE at birth for my son. And then, well, I don't remember my other NDEs. I was only 10 days old and they read the last rites to me 3 times. So there's I'm sure some residuals in there that I don't know about. So know that as you go through change, and I want your change to be much smoother.
Thank you.
And much less, severe. So, use this place is such a very, very valuable source into our future of this evolution of this consciousness evolves. We're right here, right now. We're here ready for others, the seekers, to come in. We're ready, and every one of you will be your helping direct them and helping to, exchange light. So we're going to be tested. Every one of the relationships you know now are going to be tested. As you become more empowered, all they remember is that little meeker you. What's going on with you, And just in a divorce, how many friends leave and then they sometimes come back. I mean, you're basically letting go of the old you, and you're not going to be operating at the same level. Now, have patience and compassion for them, because that's the one that they know. So you're going to be tested, and your growth and your alignment to spirit will be your anchor. It will be the anchor to who you become, because we're not here to please other people. We're not here to get along with everybody. We're here to be the conduit of light. And that is all we're here to do. It will test you. It will test what you are, who you are, and who you think you are. So in these relationships of family members, that will bring in an interesting dynamic, because family members are going to be in your life. You're not going to kick everybody out. So the relationships of family members will change. It will create conflict, and you will find one of the biggest things is a sense of loss of approval of others. Don't we always seek that approval of others? Well, we have to put makeup on to come here to church. I mean, to me, that's like, oh yeah, I have to do that because that's what we always do. That's what we have to present, so I will get approved of. We have primate energy in us. And when you're in the, tropics or wherever that, the primate family is, if they leave you behind, you're going to die. And guess what we think? If somebody abandons us, we're not going to live. That's why we get such a sense of pull to get approval of others. So that energy in our DNA is, if you really think about it, I watched something on lovely YouTube. Okay, you can get lost in that, and it was about a lioness, and she just stood there and it was a growl, but it was like a call out for help. She had gotten lost, and unknown to her group of lions came to look for her, and they reunited. It made me cry. Because they have the same life, if you would. You come together as a community in the animal world. And just think, back when American Indians, if they expelled you from the tribe, you may have certain death there. So it is important for you to realize that when you bring in approval from others, you can shift it because you've got an approval from source.
Oh, nice. I'll write that down.
Yeah, you've got an approval from source. So just know that because you can approve of yourself with the light, that anchor, I always talk about that tube. If you walk around in that tube, you have everything you need. You're going to be guided by every word, every action, every choice, every thought. And you're going to sync up and synchronize yourself to some beautiful energy, aren't you? So as we anchor the light here, it's the only job we're here to do. And as we anchor that light, just know that a new version of you will start to come in. A new version of you will, shape and shift you. You might get another job. You might move away. You might change all your relationships. Good for you. Being brave, right? That's brave.
Yeah.
That's humongous.
Yeah, it's easier to stay.
Yeah. So we're here to anchor the light, and that's our only job. So this is going to be the most important job you ever did in your life. You're going to be that, so you're not a light worker. You're not somebody that does healing work. What can you do? You can beam your light out wherever you go. One of the other things that you can do is you got to go to the grocery store, bring in that gratitude, ask those 4 angels to surround that beautiful grocery store with light, and you get to walk in that light with them. Look for things that you have in common. What do we have in common? Our cookbooks. Food. We have food in common, right? We have taking care of our body in common. Instead of looking for the things that aren't in common with others, you got to look for things that are. And there's one thing that we all have is that heart and the need to have love to others. So be kind and passionate to other people.
Yes.
And so that will shift and shape you to somebody else that has that. Then you're going to see more things in common when you look for things in common with others. So there's a million things I can talk about, but I'm going to close this time. So it is your most important job. As things change and grow, there is some big changes coming, humongous changes, and have that compassion and have that understanding. And you are the most important person on this planet and continue to be so. So many blessings to you, and thank you very much for allowing me to share. Thank you.